Welcome, students. Let us learn the lesson in English, The Three Questions by Leo Tolstoy, Part 2. Let us see what we have learned in the first part of the lesson. A king had three questions in his mind. Obviously, he needed the answers. The first question was, what is the right time to start anything? The second question was, who were the most important people to listen and whom to avoid? The third question was, which is the most important occupation or job? He called various learned, wise men through proclamation to his side in order to get answers to his questions. However, they all provided him with different and non satisfying answers. He decided to dress as a commoner in order to visit a hermit or a wise man. He went to woods, forest with bodyguard and told him to stay back. When the king saw the hermit was digging the ground. The king asked his questions many times and helped the hermit. Now, let us see the characters in this part of the lesson. Now, let us look at the characters in this section of the story or lesson. The king, who was eager to get the answers from the hermit. The hermit, who was a wise man, who indirectly gave the answers to the king. The bearded or the wounded man, who was the enemy of the king first and later became his friend. Now, let us start the lesson or the story. The passage starts from 1 hour past on page number 53 till sent into this life on page number 55. Now, 1 hour passed, 2 hours passed, and the sun sank behind the trees. That is, it was going to become dark now. The king hit the spade for the last time on the ground and said, I came to you, wise one, means knowledgeable man, for an answer to my question. If you can give me none, please say so, and I will go home. As soon as the king said these words, the hermit said suddenly, here comes someone running. Let us see who it is. As Hermit could hear the sound of running, the king saw here and there, and saw a bearded man came running out of the forest towards them. The bearded man had pressed his hands on his stomach, and blood was flowing between and under the fingers like water. As he reached to the king, he fainted and fell down, moaning, crying in pain with low volume sound. The king and the hermit immediately unfastened, that is, opened the clothes on his stomach, and saw that there was a large injury. Wound. The king washed the wound as much as he could, as well as he could, and tied a bandage using his own handkerchief and a towel which the hermit had with him. The blood was not stopping, it was flowing continuously. The king removed the bandage, full of blood, soaked in warm blood. When the blood flows out from the body, it is warm, and the king washed bandage nicely again and rebandaged the wound again and again till bleeding stops. When the bleeding stopped, the man regained his consciousness. He asked something to drink. As all the three men, that is, the king, the hermit, and the bearded man, were in jungle, there was only fresh water to give. So the king went and fetched fresh water and gave him. For then the sun had set, and everywhere it had become cool. As it was jungle, forest, it is always cool at night time. The sun had set, it was dark, and the wounded man could not be left alone there in the forest. So the king, with the help of hermit, that is, both together, carried him in hermit's hut. The wounded man laid down quietly with his eyes closed, and the king was so tired after all these things, as he walked very long after he dismounted his horse, and he worked, that is, he dug the ground. As soon as the king laid down, his body came to rest, and he fell asleep. Whenever we are tired after the day's hard work, whether it is mental or physical, and we lay down, our body gets rest and we immediately fall asleep. Same was the condition of the king. When the king woke up in the morning, it took some time for the king to remember and understand that where he was and who was a stranger, unfamiliar, unknown, bearded man lying beside him and was looking intently at him. Suddenly, "Forgive me," uttered the bearded man in a weak voice. When the bearded, wounded man saw that the king was awake, he asked the king to forgive him. The king said that he did not know him, that is, the bearded man, and he had done nothing to forgive. Then why he was asking for forgiveness? On this, the wounded, bearded man said that he was his that enemy who swore to take revenge because the king had killed, executed his brother, and seized his property. He took the opportunity to take revenge. He planned to kill the king, as he knew that the king came all alone to the wise man. He planned to kill him on his way to home, but as he did not turn up, he came out of ambush. He came upon his guard, who attacked him fiercely as they recognized him. But he escaped from them. He would have died due to bleeding heavily if the king would not dress his wounds. He wished to kill the king, but the king became his savior. Other says that if the king wish, he will serve him all his life. The king was glad, happy, because he had made peace with the enemy very easily, and he got a good friend in that bearded man. The king promised to return his money and to send his servants along with his own physician, that is, personal doctor, to attend him, to look after him properly. The king then came out of the hut and searched the hermit. Now, before going back, the king wanted to ask one more time the answer for his question, which he had already asked. The hermit was sitting out on the basis of his knees and was sowing seeds in the ground which was dug by the king and the hermit a day before. Now the king went near him and said that, "Please answer the questions," as he was asking for the last time to the knowledgeable man, that is, hermit. The hermit responded and said that the king had already got his answers, who was still crouching, that is, bending on his weak legs, and looked at the king who stood before him. On hearing this, the king was astonished and said, "What do you mean? How did I get the answers?" The hermit replied to the king that he didn't notice if he would have not pitied on him, felt sympathy for his weakness, and halted there to dig the ground, he would have gone home back, and on the way of returning home, the bearded man would have killed him. So the most important time was the time when he was digging the bed, and the hermit was the most important person at that time in his life, and to do good for him was the most important business. Now, see how the hermit had answered all the three questions of the king. The hermit said afterwards, that is, when the time changed, The most important time was when the king was attending the wounded man, taking care of the wounded man, because if the king would not have done, the man would have died without making peace and friendship with him. So now the wounded man was the most important person, and what he had did for him was the most important business. Basically, the hermit was trying to say the king was that the most important time is now, the present moment, because it is the only time when you have the opportunity and the power to do something. The most necessary person is the one with whom you are. The most important thing, occupation, or job is to do good to the person you are with. This is the reason we are given this life of human being. King was glad to receive satisfactory answer and went back to the palace. This evaluation section is based on the above video lesson. In the first question, you have to make noun forms of the given words. To make noun of any word, you have to add my in your mind, and then you will get the transform word as noun. For example, see the first word, that is execute. Now add my in your mind. Listen to me carefully. My execution. Now the is execution. That is noun form. Rest you can do on your own. For the second question, you have to write answers in your own words. Frame full, complete sentence. For the first one, you will get the answer after the episode when the king wakes up and tries to remember and understand who the stranger was. The answer for the second question is after the dialogue between the king and the hermit, when the sun sank behind the trees and the king struck the spade for the last time on the ground. For the third question, you will find the answer somewhere in the ending of the lesson or story. The fourth answer is following it. Question number 3 is do as directed, for which you have to read the sentence and directions properly, carefully, and then write. For the first one, you have to change the asked sentence into direct speech, for which you have to use commas, inverted commas, and make he as I and his as my. Now you will be able to write. For the second one, you have to frame question. For this, you have to find the verb and see to it properly. That is, whether it is positive or negative, which means to see if there is any negative word in the sentence. There is no negative word near the verb, so your question word will be in negation, means negative, that is wasn't, and place it right in the beginning of the sentence and add question mark at the end with the necessary changes in the sentence. For the third one, you have to frame meaningful sentence with the phrase given. The meaning of the phrase is to feel sympathy for someone because they are in a difficult or unpleasant situation. This will help you the sentence. Now, for the fourth one, you have to find hidden words with at least 4 letters, which should be meaningful. Question 4 is a personal response. You have to think logically deeply, and write. Now, for this question, the hermit did not give direct answer to the king. Then, how did he give? Through what medium he gave? How did he explain? You have to write. Question number 5 is writing skill. Here, you have to write summary for the passage or video lesson what you have understood. You have to write in your own words with proper sentence structure. Listen, students. Summary can be tricky to write at first because it is tempting to include specific details, but by following some easy steps, you will be able to summarize any text quickly and successfully. I am using the word text as it refers to any passage for summary writing. The first step to a well written summary is to read the original piece of work. Focus on reading the original text. The goal is to become familiar with the main idea of the piece while gaining insight into the author's specific style and voice. Means you are grasping the main idea of the text. Once you have finished reading the original piece, take time to reflect on what you have read. This is the second step. Think about the important points and how the author constructed the sequence of events. Determine the 5 W's, that is, who, what, where, when, why of the story to help illuminate the essential text. Now, the third step is rereading. Rereading means active reading. Read the story again. This time, mark the points you want to include in your summary, like underline the sentence, number of major events as they occur. Also, note the areas you don't understand. Depending on the difficulty of the text, reread until you feel like you have sources for your summary. Fourth step is to organize. Once you have active reread the text, take a couple of minutes to organize the information you have collected. Fifth step is to create a thesis statement. A thesis statement clearly identifies the topic being discussed. Thesis statement belongs at the end of your first paragraph of your original text. The key to a good summary is a developed thesis statement that demonstrates your understanding of the author's original work. The purpose of including thesis statement in a summary is to correctly identify the author's main idea. When writing the summary, you want to recast the author's main idea without including a personal opinion. The sixth step is to draft a paragraph. At this point, you have virtually outlined the introduction and body of your summary. Your thesis statement can be used as the introductory sentence to your summary, while the other main points will fall body of paragraphs. Be sure to include some transition words like then, however, moreover, also, and so on to help with the overall structure and flow of the summary. As you start writing summary, keep the following things in mind. Write in present tense. Include the author and title of the work. Be concise. A summary should not be equal in length of the original text. It should be 1/4 length of the original piece. Don't put your own ideas or interpretations into summary. The purpose of writing a summary is to accurately represent what the author wanted to say, not to provide a critique. The seventh step is to check for accuracy. Once you have completed your draft, reread your summary to make sure you have accurately represented the author's main idea. Ensure that summary doesn't contain any personal commentary and is written in present tense. The last step is to revise. After you have checked, please revise what you have written. Follow the steps and write a good. Thank you for listening. I hope you understood the lesson or story properly.